Hi guys, and welcome back to another match preview as Forest will host Aston Villa at the world famous this weekend. And this is an interesting game to say the least, and we can only review it with one mate, and that of course is Luke from Up the Villa, UTV. His link's in the title. Make sure you go and subscribe to him. Make sure you like this video, subscribe if you know the drill. You know the drill. Okay, how you doing, bud?
Good, mate. Yeah, great to be back on your channel.
I know you're smiling because you won yesterday against Leipzig, who've lost all their Champions League games, and I saw you hyping it up like the greatest Villa performance of all time, mate. You really getting that carried away with it?
Mate, it was a good performance. Like, we played well, and yeah, they're sort of like got no points, but they've been doing pretty good in the Bundesliga, and like the Premier League, there's no easy game. Like, there's
Uh-huh.
no easy game in Europe
Uh-huh.
and in the Premier League. So um a win's a win, and we played pretty well, to be fair. So yeah, wasn't about it
Yeah.
really.
It was a good goal, man. Duran there, lobbing the keeper. Keeper at fault though, or was it just too good?
Nah, mate, he's just got that in his locker. He's just scores bangers galore. So, he's just got it in his locker.
Stop smiling, man. It's so annoying, you Villa fans. You're just always smiling these days. Oh, Emre this, Emre that. We're
Yeah,
happy.
but mate, you've got to have a smile on your face as well. You're doing pretty well this season.
It's pretty
So,
good, mate. It's pretty good. Us in Midlands boys are back, mate. Fifth and sixth in the league. Shaking up the cartel six. It's good times. It's good times. But what's been going on with your league form, mate? I mean, I know you've had a couple on the bounce, but what's changed? What's changed? Because it was looking pretty ropey a week or two back. Like what caused that ropiness, and what do you think's changed it to get back on track?
yeah, I just think obviously we've got this sort of style how we want to play and like
Mm,
control games and just try and dominate the teams that we play. And we just got in a bit of a rut that I think sometimes you can get in. We played against Bournemouth and we played really well against Bournemouth, and then Evan Nilsson scored in the last minute, and it
mm,
sort of snowballed from that. Really, we then played Palace in the cup, made loads of changes, didn't work that well, and we lost that one. And I think we then played Liverpool, lost that. Played
got
Spurs,
tonked by
lost that.
Spurs. That was
Yeah,
embarrassing,
but
mate.
first off, we were really good, and we went 1-0 up. Watkins had a chance, and we just had a bit of a mess. So there was games where we were sort of playing okay, but losing, and then we played Palace, and we played well in that, and we just kept conceding on transition. So we defended really bad, and we just found it a little bit difficult to get that win. And it was sort of like a bit of, sometimes when you have games where things don't go well and you've just got to have a bit of a reset, and we just sort of
Mm.
probably had a collective reset and just focused, and we was able to win our last two Prem games and this Champions League game. So I think for Villa, we're not the finished article, and I think teams are sort of like last year. I think teams were probably just sort of just thinking we were just the normal Villa that we used to be,
Yeah.
but now it's a bit like, oh, it's Villa, like they're actually pretty decent, so we've got to like turn up, play our best, and I think that's what a couple of teams are approaching us like, really. So yeah, we've just had a bit of a blip, but come out of it. And I said on my channel, like, I've had some bad blips as a Villa fan, but never had a bad blip as good as this, where we're still
True.
sort of pretty decent in the Premier League, and I think we're just below you, so we're sixth place, is it? And
Yeah.
just probably in and around where we need to be, playing Champions League football as well. So I think I kind of feel like once this group stage is sorted, we should hopefully go back to just being like what we were sort of like last year, really. But I don't know. It's tough though, isn't it? Like, look at the league.
I
There's
know.
you
It's
guys,
crazy.
Bournemouth, Fulham, Brentford, Brighton. It's so tight and congested that you win two games and you can be fourth, or you'll lose two and you'll be 12th. So I think it's just the nature of the league at the minute.
I keep saying it reminds me of a championship league. Like whenever, do you remember in the championship in the bad old days, not good old days, you'd if your team went on a 2 or 3 game run, you could jump from like 14th to 7th, in the space of a week or two. And it's feeling like that in the Premier League because you went down to like 11th or 12th, wasn't it? Only like
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. And then those back-to-back wins just boom, straight back up you go into sixth. It's crazy, but it's kind of good. Do you like feel there's a bit of a changing of the guard, this traditional cartel six, and then you got the likes of us, you, like you said, Bournemouth, Fulham, and stuff, shaking it up a little. Do you think this is sustainable, or will business be resumed?
I hope it's sustainable because I'm sick to death of the big six. Like,
Yeah,
you know it through doing content, and I know it that even last year we get no recognition.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, oh, it's a flash in the pan. You can't sustain it. Oh, you're gonna do a
False position.
Newcastle. You're
Mm,
not gonna be able to maintain Premier League, Champions League. It's like, why are there all these excuses of why we can't sustain and stay there and progress and
well
challenge
said.
and like it's frustrating, man. And I absolutely love it that there's all of us trying to sort of break that mold and beating them. I mean, you look at the last 2 seasons, we finished above Chelsea twice and Spurs twice. And when does a club overtake, say, why are Spurs classed as a big six and
Don't get
Villa
me
are just,
started.
do you know
Don't
what I
get me
mean?
started. Honestly,
Right.
like,
It
what have they
annoys
got?
me.
What have they got? A cup in '08, a Mickey Mouse Cup. I mean, me and you are sitting here with stars, mate, and they're sitting there in the big six of a what was it back then? Carling Cup or something? Or what? No, it was Worthington. I think it might have been Worthington. It's embarrassing, mate. It's
Yeah.
embarrassing. And why do they keep protecting this cartel six with decisions, with financial decisions, and what have you? It's just annoying. Let's not go down that road. I think we both feel the same way about it. We
Yeah,
really do.
definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, so Villa, mate, Villa, right? Looking at your players, who's been the standout for you for this season that's really kind of starting to shine?
Um,
Who
there's
should
a
we worry
couple.
about, I guess, is what I'm
Well,
asking.
there's a couple. There's a few sort of like under the radars that you probably
Mm,
wouldn't sort of expect. Like Yuri Tielemans this season, there was
they've
a
been good.
stat going round last week that he sort of played the most progressive passes out of any midfielder in the Premier League.
Mm.
He sort of took over from like Douglas Luiz. He's really forward thinking. He's playing really well for us. Luca Dean at left back has been probably our most consistent player. Morgan Rogers, he's starting to get back on track to what the
He had
glimpses
a
that we've
little bit of a
seen.
blip patch, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Teams started to like sort of like double up on him a bit, and he was
Mm.
finding it a bit tough. But he seems to have sort of like come through that now. So he's a massive threat and plays well. And sort of when he plays well, we play well. Who else is playing well for us? Consa's playing well. Cash is back in form. Duran, if he's off the bench, he's probably going to start this game. So he's leading the line pretty well for us. So those are sort of like some of the players that have been standing out from a Villa point of view.
Yeah. Are you still playing that same formation? Because I feel like he's tweaked it slightly. It's almost feeling like a
Mm.
4-2-3-1 to me.
Yeah.
Whereas when
So
he first came in,
yeah,
it was a bit 4-4-2-ishy.
well, out of possession, it's still 4-4-2.
Mm.
It's a bit hybrid. So left back goes forward, right back tucks
Yeah.
in, like that. But against Leipzig, he went for a bit more of like a sort of like three at the back with Cash and
Yeah, he was
Digne
playing right
offering
wing
loads of
almost,
width.
wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Bailey was out for the game against Leipzig, so Cash played sort of like right wing back, and he
Mm.
tweaked it up. So I don't know whether he'll stick with that against you guys, or he'll go back to sort
Is
of like
Bailey
what we
still out
normally
or is
play.
he back?
Emery said he had a small injury that wasn't as bad as what we thought, so he kind of said he might be back, but I'm not sure whether he will be back for the
Mm.
game at the weekend.
And Mings is back as well, which I think I rate him. I think what he brings to you guys is leadership qualities. But is he going to be able to get back into the team? Do you think? Because he's played a bit, but
Yeah,
is he?
it's so who did we play? Southampton. He came back in. Um, I think it was Southampton or the game before, or Palace. Might have been Palace, or I can't remember.
Brentford,
Brentford.
Brentford, wasn't it?
Brentford. He
Yeah.
came back in against Brentford, and his leadership was really good, and we've had a
Mm.
bit of a problem of sort of like just someone like getting their head on the end of stuff and just getting it away. And
Yeah, he's
and
got
I
that
do
hype.
feel like I do feel like he will come back in for this game because against Chris Wood, I think Emery will want that
Yeah.
little bit of someone that's just going to try and edit out and stuff. So I
Who
do
will it
think
be for?
Mings,
Who do you reckon?
Pau
Pau Torres
Torres, I
or Torres?
think, yeah, yeah.
Oh, your
So
boy that you tried to compare with Murillo last season, yeah? How's he been?
mate,
How's he?
we're not going there on this one. Yeah, so I think he'll come back for just some more like physicality, I think. And I think he's gonna start to sort of like not game on game, but I think if someone's more suited, I think he'll start rotating them around a little bit.
Yeah. Well, what's more important, mate? If I offered you top four or semi-finals plus in the Champions League, what are you taking?
Oh, mate. Well, at the start of the season, I said any form of Europe would be a good season for Villa to like
Okay.
keep getting Europe, etc.
Yeah.
Um, so if you're saying we got to the semis, what would we do in the league?
Semi plus, I'm saying semi plus. All right,
Yeah,
league.
but what?
I'll give you like European football or European football, maybe Europa
Yeah, I'll
Conference.
say yeah, defo like semi and getting some form of Europe. Then that would be like a wicked season.
Yeah, would that make you feel like you're back to the '80s? Not that we were around. Me and you were in young
Yeah,
twenties, mate. We're
pretty
young, mate.
much. Yeah, but
Villa are
pretty
back.
much. Yeah, because even though we've had a bit of sort of like, I think we're 5 points off where we were last year. So
Mm,
that's like 2 games, isn't it? And this has been the best season, I'd probably say, last than this season, Sporting Villa. Like watching Villa in like the Champions League he's wicked. You know, go into the games and like hearing that anthem, and we've beat Bayern Munich and we've drew to Juventus, and you know these
was that a goal
teams.
or not at the end? What you? Oh, I know what you're gonna say against Juve. That looked a little
Um,
harsh to me.
yeah, I think it was because I don't think the goalkeeper had it in full control. Like I don't
Mm.
think he had it. It sort of was like behind him a bit. But um, I tell you what though, some of them refs are awful. They are shocking. We had a good one yesterday, um, but some of them they're just like it's like they've won a raffle
You reckon they're
to
worse than the Prem ones?
Oh, mate, some of them.
Seriously.
One of them was I can't remember which game it was, but one of them was terrible. Yeah, they're not great.
Yeah, but you've had the semi-automated stuff, which even I think was it used yesterday is quite
Yeah.
efficient in terms of it. That's a whole other discussion. That's a whole other discussion. But so you're saying a European spot semi-finals would be a decent finish, right?
Yeah.
What about what you think of Forest, man? Let's move on to the 2 stars instead of the 1 star, right? Let's squeeze that one in.
Yeah, mate,
Well,
you're,
what do you think made of our season? Because like we've got this good bantery respect for each other's clubs. I think it's fair to say,
yeah.
and I want you guys to do well. Obviously, I want us to do well, and vice versa. But did you expect us to be where we are this season? Where did you have us down to start with?
Probably about 12th, maybe, somewhere
Yeah.
in and around that, I
All
reckon.
right. Okay.
But yeah,
That's where most of
mate,
the Forest fans have had
yeah, I
us.
think you're
Yeah.
smashing it, to be fair. I think you're doing really well. And Nuno, I think you've got a really good manager that's sort of been there and done it in the Premier League. He's
Mm.
took a club like, not
Wolves.
disrespecting Wolves, but he took them from sort of like Championship to Premier League to Europe and competing in that. So he's got that experience, and
Mm.
I just think it's really good. Like I was speaking to you like off air about I watched that Marinakis documentary
Yeah.
on Sky, and I thought he come across really well, and I think he's he's sort of got the experience with Olympiacos of winning stuff, and he wants to do the same with you guys. And I just feel like there's a bit of a vision there now. Like you've
Yeah.
got some really good players. Like I've always liked Gibbs White and stuff, and you've got
Mhm.
like Woodinho up top now, haven't you? That's like prime like R9 this season. So
Crazy, man.
um yeah, and that's what I mean. But the thing is though, like he's a goal scorer, and he knows where the back of the net is. And Nuno was able to sort of get Raul Jimenez firing, and he had
Yeah.
like a massive purple patch. So I think you're in safe hands, and I think watch your style, like I pretty much would back you to go away from home and give anyone a game because
Yeah.
that's sort of like his makeup of keep it tight, but you can score goals
In
and you on
transition, yeah.
transition and countering. You're explosive whether you're playing Elanga or Hudson or Grealish or someone else on the wing. But yeah,
That's
so
what I love about you, man. You know the players. That's what I love. When we're
yeah,
doing
no,
this stuff for Big Six,
yeah,
if
like
they would never
and
dream of
as
saying
well.
Grealish. Yeah.
No, and Aina as well. He's having a
He's
quality
quality.
season.
Yeah.
So he's playing really well and doing well. And obviously Murillo, I know he's obviously good. I know we have a bit of banter, but Murillo's just quality as well. Your keeper's really good. So I think you've got good players all over. Midfield's good. So I expect you to be in and around that Europe conversation, definitely.
Do you think, like, when it comes to Villa, is the hardest style you play against like a Forest style where it's like a mid block looking to attack on the transition, where
Yeah,
we don't mind giving you the ball, or do you
yeah.
prefer when a team tries it against you? What's kind of your Achilles heel?
I'd probably say exactly that. Like you
Mm,
guys, Crystal Palace, um, I'd say Brentford, but we was able
yeah,
to just blitz Brentford.
yeah, they don't
Um,
play well away from home this season, do
no, so
they? Yeah,
those teams that sort of just we have the ball, and you guys press really well with your front four or front five, win that ball back quickly, get bodies around it, and you're away. And I think that's something that we've struggled with really. I think it's sort of because I think when we're a team that sort of like want to have that control and sort of if you can nick it and we're sort of out of position a little bit, that's where we sometimes get caught. We were getting caught with like balls that were sort of like through a channel, sort of, and
yeah,
teams were just like tearing down on our goal. But Boubacar Kamara coming back for us has been, he's one of our
huge.
best players, and he's so good at reading the game. So I say like he's a bit like Rodri for Man City, but our version of that from what he does for
And
us.
I
So
told you about him when you got him 2 years ago. What was it, 2 years ago? How highly I rate him because you got him so cheap as well, mate.
well, he was free. Like we
Yeah,
got him
it's
on a
just
free.
ridiculous.
So yeah, so he's now back and playing consistently. So he just adds a lot to our shape. So yeah, so I mean, it's going to be a difficult game for Villa because under the lights, you're absolutely flying, and yeah, it's just going to be. I think it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, you don't sound confident, mate. This ain't like you. This ain't like
No,
you.
no,
You're
no,
worried. You're worried. I can see it in
no.
your eyes.
I'm not worried, but obviously it is going to be a tough game. Like I don't think I can call it. I don't think.
Because, mate, you lost to us last season at the
Mm.
City, and that was under Cooper. That was
Yeah, but
low block
but that
football.
that loss was good for us because
Okay.
Emery like just like reassessed and
He dropped back a
yeah,
little, didn't he? He stopped playing
yeah.
Ange ball as much, that crazy like halfway line thing. I have noticed there's been a little bit more kind of tactics coming into his stuff. Well, it was off that game that triggered it.
Yeah, like he always talks about that game away at Nottingham Forest as being like one
Rent
of them
free.
ones where it's a big moment where we had to like adapt certain things as well. So yeah.
Maybe Postecoglou could take a leaf out of his book, mate. It might sort Spurs out. Let's not go talk about Spurs. So go on, mate. Call it. Like head and heart. What are you saying here?
um I think it might be a draw. I
Mm,
think it might be high scoring draw, like 2-2, I think.
you reckon?
Um, I think we'll probably make a couple of changes to our team to freshen it up a little bit.
What
Um,
do you reckon the changes will be?
I think Mings comes in, Duran
Mm.
starts. He might change someone in midfield. We've played on Kamara and Tielemans for the last sort of three or four games, and I think
Will he rest Kamara? I'd like him to, because surely you're
we've got
worried about his injury record and stuff.
yeah,
You
so
know.
we've got Onana as well. So Onana could play in that position.
Mm.
Sometimes rotates Digne or Matson. Um, so I think that's something that we could probably look at really. So I'd probably say like a 2-2, I think.
Yeah. So I agree with you. I think it'll be a draw, but I'm going the other end. I think it could be a 0-0. I don't think we've had a
Oh nah,
0-0 this
mate,
season.
we will concede. We will concede.
Seriously.
Yeah,
Well, now you said
yeah.
that, you probably won't, right?
Well, I hope not. So,
I'll put you halfway there. I don't know. I just got a feeling on a 0-0. I'm like you. I can't read this one. I think our
I
style
think.
suits playing against you.
Mhm.
I just don't know if that, you know, naturally rolls into a win or what have you. So I'm kind of sitting on the fence a bit on this one.
Yeah, I kind of feel like sometimes this might bite me as well. That
There you go.
sometimes when you've had a really good performance, like you've been away at Man United,
Yeah.
you've won, and everyone's like, "We're gonna win at home," and it's like doesn't work like that,
Don't
does
work,
it?
mate. It don't work.
Yeah.
Well, at least I went into the Man U game thinking, oh, we've just held 3 at City. We got this ugly December run. I had no hope, no faith. And those tend to be the times that Forest actually win. Whereas exactly what you say, when we'd gone on that 3 in a row winning streak, and I can't remember who we came up against next, like, yeah, we should win this one. It just doesn't
Mm.
work out, mate.
I remember
It's
the game we were talking about on the chat, and we were talking about you played Newcastle, didn't you?
yeah, yeah, that was it.
I think I thought you were gonna win that, and
Mm.
you didn't, did you? And it's like
Mate, they
bit of a
suddenly turned
shock.
into prime Real Madrid, right? And they've been crap ever since, man. It's just so annoying. They turned up for one game and it was against us. It's so annoying. But yeah. All right, mate. One last question, and I forgot it, but it was a good question. It's gone. Oh, are you missing your boy at left back, man, Moreno?
Um, no, I don't think so.
I
Like
think you're gonna
Digne Digne's been really good, and Matson's, been in and out and doing well. How's he doing anyway?
He's been dropped the last 3 games.
Really?
He was
He
doing
was playing well though.
Mate, he was against Liverpool. He absolutely pocketed Salah. But then in the last kind of few games before he got dropped, we think he's been dropped. Don't know. He may have picked up a knock. But it's exactly what you said to me. Shout out to you for what you said. He's good going forward, but sometimes in the defense, he's just, wrong side of the ball or just can't keep up with a man slightly out of position. So he got dropped for Nico Williams. And obviously he can't play in this game because he'll be parent club tied. So I don't know if that's been part of Nuno's thinking to get Nico Williams a couple of games in so he's not coming in cold when Moreno's been dropped. But yeah, I feel like he has been dropped. But he's been all right. I don't think we're going to buy him off yet, though. So he's
No.
coming back. Yeah, he's coming back, mate. All
I
right,
thought you probably would.
well, guys, that's Luke's thought. As always, he comes on here with arrogance and everything. Yeah,
No, I
but
don't.
make sure you show him some love. Go subscribe to his channel. Honestly, best Villa channel out there. So much content on there, and he's such a top bloke. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well. And we will see. And we're doing another preview over on Luke's channel. So if you want to see more of our beautiful faces, go check it out there as well. We'll see you on the next video. Come on, you Reds.